everyone. I've just finished writing a blog about forgiveness and I thought, why not come on and do a video about it too? Now, I started to write this blog because I just felt that there's going to be a lot of emotions and things surfacing for people this year where one of the key elements for them is going to be looking at forgiveness. So we always think that sorry is the hardest word. But to me, sorry is just a word. You know, how many times do we see parents say to children, go on, say sorry, and the child's like, but I don't want to, but just say sorry. You know, so children we're forced from such a young age to say sorry that it actually doesn't have any real emotion or feeling attached to it. It's almost like a form of lip service. To me, the hardest word sometimes can be, I forgive you. Yeah? The act of forgiveness can be quite hard. You know, forgiving invokes a whole new ball game of thoughts, feelings and emotions, and it can bring up rage, hatred, anger, just real dense energy in there. You know, so the thing is that with forgiveness is, firstly, what I want to be clear on is that to forgive somebody doesn't mean that you forget. Okay, so yes, it's really healthy to forgive, but it's also healthy to have boundaries. And if somebody has hurt you and you feel that it's not healthy to have them in your life, then yeah, just have that boundary in place. But one of the things there's a few things I want to explain to you today, 3 things about forgiveness. Now, the first thing is that all thoughts, feelings and emotions carry energy, vibration and frequency. And all of these will be stored in the natural frequency of our body. And where the vibrational frequency is low, it's going to disrupt the harmony and the pattern of the body. And it can ultimately lead to illness or disease. Now, to refuse to forgive somebody can actually hold a lot of density within the energetic system, you know, within the physical body, mentally, emotionally, especially if it's been stored up for years and years. Okay, so it's really important to understand that. And if we're having thoughts of, they don't deserve my forgiveness, I'll never forgive them to the day I die, you know, you can sort of see where the thread's going here. All of that density is being held by you. Okay? So when we start to strip it back, the only person you are hurting by choosing not to forgive somebody is yourself. And, you know, quite simply, this may come about like a little bit like a shock statement, but it really is a choice of self-harm versus self-love. If you're choosing not to forgive somebody, then you are only hurting yourself. If you choose to forgive somebody, you are giving yourself one of the greatest gifts in helping to also clear your energetic system, which ultimately will raise your frequency. You know, one of the authors, I think it was Lewis B. Smead, he said, to forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that prisoner was you. Yeah, I've got it. To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that prisoner was you, which is so true, because you know, you will just be the prisoner in your head. So firstly, the first thing to look at in terms of forgiveness is, just understand the impact that it's going to have on you energetically if you choose not to forgive somebody. And the next step really is changing your perception. Now, when we change our perception about something, it really does change everything. To me, it's like where there was darkness, you now start to see shadows. Where there was straight lines, we now start to see curves and spirals. And where it was dark, you know, where there was like nothingness, now you're starting to see deeper. And when you start to change your perception around something, you begin to give birth to understanding. And understanding in terms of the process of forgiveness is probably pretty critical. It's really, really important, because when you have a different perspective around something and an understanding of something, then you can actually start to formulate how you're going to look at it in a different way. And that is really, really key as well. So, really choosing to do that. And, you know, sometimes hurts have been put against us, you know, that are so big and painful that even by knowing how it affects you energetically and knowing that by changing your perception and gaining an understanding around the way a person acted or the way a certain event or something has played out, sometimes that's just not enough, you know. And when I'm talking to my clients and they say like, how can I forgive? How can I forgive that? You know, whatever it is. And I've had to forgive some huge things in my life. You know, that doesn't make me special, because we've all had to do it, or we will choose to do it at some point. And the one thing that has got me through that is when I've hit that block and I'm like, I can't do this, I just can't move through it, is be willing. Every moment of every day when you feel that you can't do it, just soften your mind, soften your heart, and just say to yourself, I'm willing to forgive. I'm willing. And gradually, slowly, it will be slow, especially if you've held on to something for a very long time. Remember, you're changing the patterns in the brain here. Gradually and gradually, you will be more willing to forgive. And eventually, you'll wake up one day and you will just feel lighter, clearer, even cleaner, to be honest with you. And you'll be like, what's happened there? And all of a sudden you'll realise that you're no longer needing to be willing to forgive. You've reached it, you've made it. The finale, you've reached the finale of forgiveness. You, in doing this part of your journey, if you can do this, you are becoming such a master of not only your energy system, but your emotions controlling you. And it is one of the greatest gifts, to be honest with you, that you can bestow upon yourself. It's huge. It doesn't make you weak, forgiving. It makes you strong, really strong. And there was a saying that I wrote this one down in case I forgot, that I just wanted to share with you, which was, let me see. Here we go. I was right at the end. I'm trying to find a quote. Here we go. Okay, but this is important. It's important I say this for you, is that it's not an easy journey to get to a place where you forgive people, but it is a powerful place because it frees you. So just remember that. It's not an easy journey, and it isn't. You unpick lots of things along the way to get to a place where you forgive people, but it is a powerful place because it frees you. That was a quote by Tyler Perry, which I've actually included in my blog. So I just wanted to share this because I feel it's really important for people to be open to forgiveness, and try and start changing your thinking forms and your patterns. Let's try and remove some of the stubbornness and pig-headedness, which can be there sometimes, and ask yourself, am I self-harming myself, or am I giving myself self-love? Big difference, big, huge. Okay, so I'm going to leave that thought with you. I hope it helps. Any comments, just let me know. Okay, have a great day, everybody. Bye.